Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of SimonTellsTales. Tonight, we return once again to the jousting tournament of the noble prince. And tonight, we shall meet Damsels, Saracens, and knights jousting upon the battlefield. Well, not all jousting. The damsels, of course, never joust in these stories, but everybody else will be smiting and kicking butt. Which is a fine way to roll into Friday, as far as I'm concerned. I think more Fridays should involve smiting. It's a nice way to get the stress of the week out there, to bring you into a nice relaxed weekend state, I think there's possibly even some kind of market there for setting up, I don't know, in the same way that you get this sort of Zumba and sort of dance, boxing type exercise routines, there should be some kind of exercise routine where you play chamber music and put on chainmail and wallop people over the head. It could be that I'm the only market there is for that one, but I think we should still go for it anyway. So hello, welcome Karen, welcome Danny. How are the two of you tonight? I hope that you are both very, very well indeed, that the week's been good to you, and that we can now gently roll on towards the weekend, which will be nice, won't it? It's been a long, no, it's not been a long week, has it? It's been a fast week actually. I feel like my week has gone blisteringly quickly, actually, but hopefully I'm in a nice place. We've got to the end of the week. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling chill. Periscope's not giving me any hearts or comments at the moment, but luckily the laptop is. Society of Chainmail and Chamber Music, indeed, Danny. That's what we want. Chainmail and chamber music. Wow, lots of people coming through now. On that thing, not on this thing. So hello, Rosella. Hello, Black Rabbit. Hello, everyone coming through. If I don't say hello to you when you turn up, I'm not being rude. I do like to say hello. Periscope is having one of its moments where it doesn't show me any comments or people turning up or hearts. That's why I've got the laptop on, so I can see things happening there, and I can see you guys interacting. Thank God, because I like it when you guys interact. But please, if I don't seem chatty, it's because of that. Ciao, Rosella. Ciao, welcome. Happy Friday. We'll give it another minute before we get into tonight's show. It has its on days and its off days, doesn't it, Danny? Sometimes Periscope is awesome. On laptop, Mabeth, on the laptop, if you go to periscope.tv/somebody's username, then you can watch their scope live on the laptop. So when the Periscope app isn't working, if I go to the laptop and watch it through WebView, I can get all of your comments, I can see folk coming in, and that's the magic that I use. There. Learning with Simon, well, not even learning with Simon, well, you found it too. So yeah, we're really learning with Simon, being reminded with Simon, or just finding out what Simon is up to. That's the theme of tonight's show. Well, I lie. That's not the theme of tonight's show at all. Tonight, the theme is smiting. A little bit magic, Rabbit. I shouldn't have shown you it. I should have just tried to I should have tried to claim that I was some kind of mystic, and thus we weren't using technology at all. But precisely, I am a witch. You should burn me after supper, though. Remember, Danny, supper has to be around the smiting. Supper is definitely involved in food. And speaking of food and smiting, shall we get into tonight's tale, ladies and gents? We are telling that wonderful tale, well, of the great jousting tournament. I forget who's hosting it. Sir Galahad, the Prince Sir Galahad. Oh wow! Now I've got all your comments just popping up at once. There we go. Good, you're ready, I'm ready. Twitter seems to be ready. Excellent. Let's get into tonight's show, ladies and gents. We are telling of the jousting tournament of Sir Galahad, an epic jousting tournament lasting for 8 days, bringing together all of the greatest knights in all of the realm to face off against each other. This is the ATP World Masters equivalent of the jousting world. Instead of having the greatest tennis players fighting off against each other, you've got the greatest knights fighting off against each other. This is the reason that you pay for your cable TV subscriptions, ladies and gents. In fact, this is so hot, it probably isn't even included on cable TV, because this is epic. This is knight fighting of the first degree. You've got to pay 20 quid just to watch this. If you want to turn up to watch the tournament live in the land of Britain, then you'd be having to pay £300 a ticket just to get in. And one can only imagine the amount of trash talk that must be taking place between these knights before they go out. That's the thing, ladies and gents. When I get around to retelling these tales in my own style and diverting myself from the manner of Sir Thomas Malory, I would definitely put some more trash talk in there. Oh. At the right end of the jousting tournament, coming in at on £128. You know this stuff. Anyway, that still to come tonight, ladies and gents. So without further ado, now I hopefully got the blood pumping. Now I've hopefully got you. Looks like I'm just wafting my armpits there, doesn't it? It doesn't quite work. Now that I've got the blood pumping, now that I've got you guys ready for fighting and supper, let's get into tonight's show. Here begins the 4th day of the jousting tournament. And then came into the field the king with the 100 knights. Hello, Scream, come in, pull up a chair, we've just started. And all of those 100 knights came from North Galley. And the Duke Chalines of Clarence and King Marsil of Pometan. And there came Saphir, Palamide's brother. And there he told him tidings of his mother. And his name was called the Earl, and so he accused him before King Arthur, for he made war upon father and mother, and there I slew him plain in battle. So they went into the field, and the damsel came with them, and they came to encounter upon the tournament field against Sir Bloberus de Gany and Sir Ector de Marie. Hello, Camero, come in. Sir Palamides fought against Bloberus, and each one smote each other down from their horses. And in the same way did Sir Saphir and Sir Ector. And the two couples then did battle upon foot. Then came in Sir Lamorak, and he encountered with the king with the 100 knights, and he smote him quite over his horse's tail. And in the same way he served the king of North Galley, and he also smote down King Marsil. And so on ever did he stint. He smote down with his spear and sword 30 knights. When Duke Chalain saw Lamorak do so great prowess, he would not meddle with him for shame. And then he charged all his knights in pain of death, that none of them should touch him. For it would be a shame to all good knights if that knight were so shamed. Then the two kings gathered themselves together, and they all set upon Sir Lamorak. But he failed them not. Instead, he rushed here and there, smiting on the right hand and on the left, and he raced off many helms, so that haughty prince and Queen Guinevere should see, as they had never before seen, knights do great deeds of arms on horseback. Camero, this is Les Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. Alas, said Lancelot to King Bagdamus, I will arm myself and help Sir Lamorak, and I will ride with you, said King Bagdamus. And when those two were horsed, they came to Sir Lamorak, who stood among 30 knights, and well was him that might reach a strike upon a helm, and ever he smote down men mightily. And then into the press came Sir Lancelot, and he threw down Sir Mador de la Porte, and with a truncheon of that spear he threw down many more knights as well. And King Bagdemus smote on the left hand, and on the right hand too, marvellously well. And then the three kings fled aback. Therewith then Sir Galahalt let below to lodging, and all the heralds gave Sir Lamorak the prize. And all this while they fought Sir Palomides, Sir Blowbris, Sir Saphir, and Sir Ector on foot. Never were there 4 knights that were more evenly matched. And then they were departed, and went to their lodgings, and unarmed them, and so they went to a great feast. But when Sir Lamorak was come into the court, Queen Guinevere took him in her arms, and she said, "Sir, well have you done this day." And then came the Prince Sir Galahalt, and he too made great joy of Lamorak's deeds, and so did Sir Dinadan, who wept for joy. But it was the joy that Sir Lancelot made of Sir Lamorak, that there might no man tell. Then they went to rest, and on the morn that noble prince let blow onto the field. Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, and we have seen a grand and marvellous royal melee take place upon the battlefield, of which Sir Lamorak has proved himself to be a mighty knight, smiting left, smiting centre, smiting down knights with sword and spear both. And so the 4th day of the battle has ended. Almost there, Scream. Almost there. How far? How far? I must confess, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I can see. We're going. Almost there, Scream. Anyway, and so, ladies and gents, we turn now to the 5th day of the battle after the knights are rested and fed, because you can't have endless battles. You've got to get some food down your in between. This is the 5th day of the tournament. Here begins the 5th day. So it befell that Sir Palomides came in the morn time, and preferred to joust there, as King Arthur was in a castle there beside Seleuce. And there he encountered with a worshipful duke, and Sir Palomides smote him over his horse's crew. This duke was uncle unto King Arthur. And Sir Elise's son rode unto Palomides, and Palomides served Elise in the same way. And when Sir Owain saw this, he was angry. Then he took his horse and encountered with Sir Palomides. Sir Palomides smote him so hard that he went to the earth, horse and man. And, to make a short tale, he smote down 3 brethren of Sir Gawain, that is to say, Sir Mordred, Sir Gaheris, and Sir Agravain all. "O Jesus," said Arthur, "this is a great despite of a Saracen, that he shall smite down my blood." And therewith King Arthur was angry, and he thought to have himself ready to joust. This, ladies and gents, was seen by Sir Lamorak, so that Arthur, when his blood was discomfit, and anon he was ready, and asked Palomides if he would joust. "Why should I not?" said Palomides. And then they hurtled together and broke their spears, and all to shivered them, and all the castle rang of their dints. Then either one got a great spear in his hand, and they came so fiercely together, but Sir Palomides' spear burst right down to the shield. But still Sir Lamorak held, Therewith Palomides lost his stirrups and lay upright on his horseback. And Sir Palomides returned again and took his damsel, and Sir Saphir returned his way. So, when he was departed, King Arthur came to Lamorak, and he thanked him of his goodness, and prayed him to tell his name. Sir, said Lamorak, know you well, I owe you my service, but as at this time I will not abide here, for I see of my enemies to be many about me. Alas, said Arthur, now well do I know that this man is Sir Lamorak de Galis. O Lamorak, abide with me, and by my crown I shall never fail you, and not so hardy in Gawaine's head, nor none of his brethren, to do thee any wrong. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, wrong have they done me, and to you both. This is truth, said the king, for they slew their own mother and my sister, the which me sorely grieves. It had been much fairer and better that you had wedded her, for you are a king's son as well as they are. Jesus, said the noble knight Sir Lamorak unto Arthur, her death I shall never forget. I promise you, and make my vow before God, I shall revenge her death at a time that I see convenable, and if it were not to the reverence of your highness, I should even now be revenged upon Sir Gawaine and his brethren. Truly, said Arthur, I will agree to this. Sir, said Lamorak, at this time I may not abide with you, but I must to the jousts. This is Sir Lancelot and the Prince Sir Galahad. And there's a damsel who was daughter to King Ban's, and a Saracen knight whose name is Corsobrinde. And he loved that damsel, and in no way would he suffer her to be married, for ever this Corsobrinde noised her, and he named her that she was out of her mind, and thus she might not be married. There we go, ladies and gents, an end to tonight's tale. And what we have seen here is that when it was revealed that Sir Lamorak had come to the jousting, then Sir Gawaine, Mordred, Garis and Agravain plotted, even though it was a friendly tournament, to have the man slain. Why? I will tell you why, ladies and gents. The reason is thus. Once, long ago, there was an evil king, a man who was called King Lot of the Isle of Orkney. And in the early days of Arthur's realm, King Lot stood against Arthur in open rebellion. King Lot was father to Sir Gawaine and Sir Garis, to Sir Mordred and Sir Agravain. And so, in the battle that followed, Sir Lamorak managed to slay King Lot. And even though Gawain later became a knight of the Round Table, he and his kin never forgave Lamorak for his deed, and always plotted to slay him. Not so long ago, when Lamorak came to the court of King Arthur, they thought that they could hatch their plan and have him slain. Little did they know, though, that Lamorak and their own mother, the Lady Morgwaine, were in love. So, Garis, the young brother, quick with a sword, snuck into the room of Sir Lamorak while Sir Lamorak was sleeping, not realising that Lamorak was laying beside their own mother, and so Garis took the woman's head first, lopped off her head, only to discover he had executed his mother. In that execution he gave Lamorak enough time to get out of the room and flee, and ever since, Garis and his kin have blamed Lamorak for the death of their mother and father both, and have sought to hound him and to slay him. And ever since, Lamorak has sworn to avenge the death of his lover upon her evil sons. And it seems now, ladies and gents, that Arthur has given his consent to allow this to happen. But will it happen? We shall find out, ladies and gents. Before that can happen, there's another thing that must happen at this jousting tournament, because there is a lady, a damsel, who is a daughter of King Ban's and who is being harassed by an evil Saracen knight who will not let her be married. Tournaments are a fine place to remove the hold that a knight has over a woman, though, ladies and gents. And so, when we return on Monday evening, we shall find out just who is willing to stand up for that damsel and just who will fight with the Saracen Corsabrin for her love. It's all still to come next week, ladies and gents. And I can't wait. Absolutely a massive woo scream, a massive woo. Thank you so much, everyone who came tonight. Big thanks to Danny and Karen and Black Rabbit and Rosella. Thank you, Scream. Jasmine, welcome. It's your first show. I hope you enjoyed this. We do this every night of the week, apart from weekends, but every weekday we do this at the same time on Periscope. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I hope your grandchild enjoyed that, Rosella. I really hope she did, and I hope that she's feeling much better. Pass on my wishes to her. I hope she gets better soon. Stories are a great thing for the soul anyway, and thank you, Frank, as well, for coming. Still to come tonight, though. Queen, who isn't here tonight. What's she thinking? Having a night off. Terrible. Queen requested earlier in the week that I should read some Spike Milligan for Poetry Live. And so, ladies and gents, coming up in 5 minutes' time, we have the Poetry Live show, and I will be reading the poems of Spike Milligan live on air. I cannot wait. In between then, though, I'm going to run downstairs and grab some water, because otherwise I am not likely to have anything left in my throat. It's going to dry up something shocking. Thank you, Scream. Thank you. I will drop her a line on Twitter to let her know that Spike Milligan is starting on Poetry Live in a few minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Frank's getting his lawnmower ready. It'll be a duel of my letter opener against Frank's lawnmower to save my hair. And poetry still to come. And this wonderful Friday evening. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I'll see you very, very shortly for Poetry Live. Bye-bye.